Hello, hello, everybody. This is Dr. Tanya, and I am doing our first live stream on YouTube today for the Wisepreneurs Collective. And so I believe I'm going to have a guest join me today, Dee, one of the Wisepreneurs staff members is going to join me today, and we're going to have a conversation about how to monetize your knowledge, skills, and expertise in order to create income for yourself. So, we are going to give her a few minutes. All right. So, monetizing your knowledge, skills, and expertise. I'd love it if there were any questions, of course, to let me know. Let me see. Hold on. Well, I could see her and then she disappeared on me. Oh, there she is. There's the Wisepreneur's Tech Bestie that's joining me. I can't hear her, but I can see her. Oh, so I still can't hear you.
My camera.
Okay,
Okay.
hold on.
Can
Now,
you see me?
yep, I can see you and I can hear you now.
Awesome.
There we go. All right, see, we have success.
It must have been a magic button on your side.
Yeah, because I clicked it and then now I can see the both of us.
Okay.
So I think we are good to go. There we go. I was gonna say, well, I can only see the top of your head. All right, all right. So let's have a little conversation around just wisepreneurs in general. So, since this is our first live on YouTube, let's first just talk about what wisepreneurs is. So, wisepreneurs is a collective of entrepreneurs that are basically 40 and over. So, if you are 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and on down the line, and you're an entrepreneur, then we consider you to be a wisepreneur. And so the word wisepreneur we coined just coming from experienced entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs that are going to leverage their experience to build a business for themselves. So that's really all it is you've got knowledge, you've got years and years of certifications and degrees and experience that you brought from a workplace that then you're going to use that all of that knowledge and experience that you have to then create a business for yourself. So that's pretty much what a wisepreneur is. That's what we're all about, is helping you to be able to harness all of that knowledge that you have and the experience that you have. And I call it your superpower. So your knowledge and experience really is your superpower when it comes to being an entrepreneur. So that's who we are. And Dee is our tech bestie. So she can talk a little bit about herself, I guess, and her experience.
Hey everybody, I'm Dee. I'm the Wisepreneur's Tech Bestie. Current by profession, I'm an instructional designer. So all things graphic design, course creation, video creation, all of those things. But definitely passionate about helping and teaching people technical skills. Learning tech is like one of those things that I love to do. It's a hobby. So everything that I learn, I love to turn around and then teach people, and also want to say for the 40 and up crew that, learning new technical skills, it doesn't have to be hard. You can definitely learn them with grace and ease.
Okay. All right. So, excuse me. When it comes to monetizing your knowledge, skills, and expertise. So and I guess I'll tell you a little bit about me first too. I'm Dr. Tanya. I'm a psychologist, but I was also an educator and a school administrator for like 20 years. So I have several degrees, have 20 years of knowledge and experience. But the first thing that I did as an entrepreneur was I decided to monetize all those years of knowledge and experience and training that I had in schools and in classrooms to be able to move myself out of that atmosphere specifically. So I still loved what I was doing as it related to education, but I wanted to be doing it outside of schools specifically. And so the first way that I did that was to become a consultant. And so when you're thinking about monetizing your knowledge, skills, and expertise, one of the easiest ways to do it is to consult with the very people that you're working for now. If you notice in your industry, whatever that is, so these in the tech industry, they have consultants come in all the time and, work there on a consulting basis to help you solve problems, to help you be better in that job that you're doing. So if you are an accountant or a CPA, if you're in a firm, if you're a lawyer, everybody has consultants in the medical industry. They have consultants that come in engineering, anything you do, they have consultants that come in. And so you could be one of those consultants. And so that was the first place I saw myself was I was like, oh, they have trainers and consultants come in to advise us all the time. I could do that. And so I went off down the path of figuring out how is it that I could be one of those people who's coming in to do the training instead of being in the seat of as the receiver of the training. And so that was the first way I monetized my knowledge and skill was to be able to do that. And then I took that, started doing trainings and professional development, and then grew that into a business. And so what I desire to do now is to really help everyone else do that exact same thing. So and it works in any industry. Doesn't matter what it is that you do, you can take that knowledge, turn it into an offer to be a trainer, to be a consultant for that particular industry that you're in. And so that's a large part of what Wisepreneurs is about. Excuse me. So when it comes to monetizing, and we've done several workshops and we'll continue to do workshops, we have a challenge, a 3-day challenge that's coming up. The 3-day monetize your expertise challenge that's coming up that will really walk you through the steps that you need to take to be able to monetize the knowledge and skills that you've gained from whatever job it is that you're currently doing. And this works for retirement as well too. If you're a retiree and you want a way to make additional income, but you don't necessarily want to do it outside of the house maybe, or you want to work from home, you want to be able to craft your own schedule, then monetizing your expertise and your skill is a great way for you to be able to do that. So you could be working your 9 to 5 currently, and it could be a part of what we call your exit plan. If you're deciding that you no longer want to work for the corporation or government, we know that right now things are crazy all over the place, right? Nothing is really secure when it comes to work. So you could be working a position right now and maybe you're fearful of being laid off. Maybe you're fearful of being downsized. I, have friends and colleagues who right now are telling, lots of different stories about being downsized from government positions or being laid off and then, being asked back. And, things are just really volatile right now. And so for all of us, I think, and with the economy and how things are going with that, we all need additional streams of income, even if you're comfortable where you are in your job. These days, I know my grandmother, they all used to say that you need to have, a bird in the hand is worth more than two in the bush. Well, these days, I believe you need a bird in the hand and you need one in the bush. You need two birds. And I think you need, two streams of income at least. So if something ever goes wrong with one of those streams of income, you have something that you still have that's coming in. And that's the, I think, the key piece for the time that we live in is that you need money coming in from multiple sources. And so this is a way for you to be able to do that, to have money to come in from multiple sources. And this is a source that you can control because I could control my consulting. I could take on as many gigs as I wanted to take on. I could take on as few gigs as I wanted to take on as a consultant. And so, in understanding that, then I was able to build it up to the level of where I wanted it to be. And you can do the same thing when you're building up your business. So think about, joining us for the challenge because in those 3 days, what we'll do is we will walk you through the setup steps, basically. So I would say, it takes you about 30 days to kind of really get some momentum and get things going. But in those 3 days, we're going to give you all the steps that you need to be able to decide on what skill you want to monetize because we all have lots of skills, right? So we're not necessarily going to monetize everything we know how to do and bit of information that we have, but there are certain things that you might really enjoy doing that you could say, hey, I could definitely see myself monetizing this and putting out an offer to be able to do this with other people. Let's say you're an accountant or a CPA and you really enjoy doing books and you're like, hey, I could do bookkeeping on the side. It's easier. Maybe it's taxes on the side because it's tax season. And so sometimes some of the things that we monetize, it might be seasonal. Other times there are things that we monetize, you do it all year long. Again, I did summer camps. I monetized my science knowledge during the summertime because I wanted to create my own schedule and make more money during the summertime. So I created a summer camp where I made money for those 8 weeks during the summer, hired other teachers and other people to do it. So then I didn't even have to really do a lot of the hands-on work with the kids, but I still made money during the summertime. So there's so many different ways that you can go about this to be able to create something that you own, you control, and that provides you with additional income. So, D, you want to share or talk about any ways? And I know we've started to talk to clients about things that they want to monetize. So, you want to give people some ideas of things that they could monetize or skills that they could monetize?
Absolutely. So the list is endless. It could be anything that you've acquired through work knowledge. So, for instance, if you're in marketing and you know how to do email campaigns, that's a service that you can then turn around and market to other business owners. If you're a writer, you can do proofreading services. You can do ghostwriting services. If you're in tech, you can offer tech support services, whether you're troubleshooting something for someone or building a system out for someone. I know building out funnel pages and things of that nature is all the rage and something that business owners typically like to source out, as it takes a lot of time to try and learn it from scratch. Or it could be a hobby. Say you like crocheting. then you could definitely monetize that. You can teach other people how to crochet. You can sell the things that you crochet. You could sell patterns that you use.
Okay.
So
Yep,
yeah.
those all work. And even though the first one, because I think it's my first love, is the consulting and coaching was the first one that I mentioned, but products is definitely another one. And even on the digital side, of course, we're in the middle of a boom when it comes to digital products right now. And so creating digital products based on the knowledge that you have is definitely an avenue that you can take. So just like she said, if you're really good, and I'll even come out of like professional things and say, like in the realm of parenting, if you have some really great parenting tips and tricks and hacks, I see people making a lot of money a lot of all the time around offering those, putting those things into a digital product and then offering that to people to be able to buy from you. So sometimes it's organizational things that I just was listening to a podcast and someone was talking about a person that made millions. It was a soccer mom. And so the kids had like all these schedules and practices and all these kinds of things. And she took, I believe it was like Trello or something, made a Trello board for organizing all of the events and things that the kids had. She then offered it to other parents that were just in her parent group to see if they wanted it to use it as an organizational tool. They went crazy over it. They shared it with other people, and then she realized, oh, I'm onto something. I have something here. She put it up on the website, just a simple landing page, offered that Trello board for kids sports organizing because you could use it for any sport, not just soccer, and has made millions off of selling a Trello board to keep other parents organized in soccer. So if you've got great parenting tips and you're really good at parenting your kid and sort of creating structure, creating, disciplinary systems and those kinds of things, like people will pay for all of those kinds of things to buy from you as digital products. So if you love journaling, there's a huge industry right now, and journal digital products sell like crazy. So if there's a specific type of journal, because again, it's specializing those journals. So I know a couple of years ago, you couldn't really find pre-COVID mental health type journals. You couldn't find that many. And now they're everywhere because a lot of therapists have realized that they can monetize the skill and knowledge that they have. And instead of, not everybody wants to talk one on one to a psychologist and therapist, but you can create a journal. And especially if you're a therapist or a psychologist who specializes in a particular type of a disorder. And so if it's anxiety, there are specific anxiety journals and tools that you can sell to people. If it's depression, those kinds of things. If it's people that just deal with, maybe they're not clinically diagnosed with depression or anxiety, but they just deal with a lot of worry. They have kind of like a mind that constantly ruminates or worries, then you could create a journal and a guide on things like that. So there again, as Dee said earlier, the ways that you can monetize the knowledge that we all have is really endless. There's so many things that you can do, and the thing that I love, my superpower, is sitting with people and talking to you and asking you questions, and then helping you to figure out what is that thing, what is that knowledge, that skill, that thing that you might be passionate about, that we can then take and scope into a product, into an offer that then you can put out there to the world and offer to people and help other people with what you have. So yeah, it really is endless as to the different types of things that you can do. You just got to start thinking about it. Got to start thinking about what is it, and that's always the first question I ask people is, what profitable skill, what profitable amount of knowledge are you holding on to that people could use and that you could really help other people with? And in addition to, digital things that you could create like journals and things like that. I mean, we've been in the world of online courses for the last probably 10 years or more. It's really booming now. So online courses is a huge thing, for you to be able to put your knowledge and skill into a course and then offer it to other people. And I don't see it going anywhere. Actually, the research says that it's only going to continue to explode into the billions of dollars, as an industry by the time we get to, I think, like 2030. So there's still plenty of growth, although you might see a lot of courses out there and you feel like, oh, it's online courses everywhere. But there may not be one uniquely like the one that you would create. And so don't let that stop you because you see several out there and it could be ones in whatever area. That just lets you know that there's a market for that particular thing out there. And you should still, look at putting yours out there because there may be people that will resonate with what you say as opposed to how someone else says the exact same thing. All right, let's see. So any questions, D? Any I know again we've talked back and forth and I'm trying to think of questions that people have asked. I know one of the things, I'll let you think for a second and I'll answer one that I get asked quite often when people are looking at going into this and maybe making a transition from a job that they have into transitioning into creating a business or monetizing their knowledge by starting a business. Most of the time, I get asked, well, how long does it take? Most people want to know how long, when can I quit that job? How long does it take? And so there really is no like blanket answer to that because it's different for everyone. So I know that you will hear people, if you pay attention online, you see people and they're like, oh, I made like $30,000 in the first month. And then you hear other people who say, man, those first like 6 months, I didn't make any money. I kept going, but I didn't make any money. So it really does vary. There is no sort of one right answer to how long it's going to take. The one thing that I usually say to people is to know and understand that it's a process and that yes, you could, depending on what your offer is, you could absolutely go out and within a week have your first client and have made, 4 or 5 figures from that job. You can make anywhere from 1,000 to, $10,000 off of your first offer, depending on what that offer is. So it really is unique to whatever that particular skill and expertise it is that you are seeking to monetize and the offer that you come up with. So you have to give yourself enough time to actually put the offer together, and get it out there online so that people can go to it. Then you got to give yourself enough time to actually let people know that you have this offer, where they can go to look at the offer and then to make their decision about it. So, long story short, with that is there is no one right answer about how long it's going to take. But I would say again, give yourself at least 30 days to put all the pieces together to get yourself rolling. And then after you have all your pieces together, I think it'll be a short amount of time before you can at least get your first sale, in what it is that you have out there as an offer.
I agree.
Okay. All right. So, any other common questions that we get about monetizing your expertise?
I think another question that I see all the time is people questioning the upfront investment that it
Hmm.
would cost for them to start monetizing their knowledge.
Okay. And I mean, that's business. So that's the first thing I'll say about that is, at Wisepreneurs, we always seek to find low barrier to entry types of products that you're going to need to be able to start your business. So I forever in my business coaching have told people that yes, there's going to be startup costs to any business. Even if it's an online business, you're still going to have some type of startup costs. So whether it is because if you're going to have a landing page for that business to be on, now we do give you resources to where it's a zero start to that particular landing page. But just remember, any software that you're using that doesn't cost you anything, then in order for you to maximize all of the benefits of that software, at some point you're going to be paying. At some point, the paywall is going to kick in and you're going to be paying. But if you think about it, there's low cost software that you can get that's like $20 a month where you can capture your leads, have up a landing page, be able to send out emails to people. You're going to have some kind of hosting at some point. So you're going to, again, need another $20 for a domain. You're going to need another, what, $5, $10 a month for hosting if you get the introductory types of offers. So again, I think for a lot of this, I'd say $100 or less, you could probably anywhere. I'd say 200 and less. You're going to be able to just get the basic pieces that you need to get started. But there's a coach that I listen to that often says, when people pay, they pay attention. And so I, didn't agree with that, but I 100% agree with that now. Things that we pay for, we tend to pay more attention to. So if we don't pay anything, then it's usually, are you really invested in it? Is what I usually ask people. So even for the challenge that we have coming up, there's a small investment for you to be a part of the challenge. And then once you go through the challenge, you are a member of the Wisepreneurs community, and you get that support from us ongoing inside of our private community. But there is a very small investment for you to get started because you're investing in us, coaching you and mentoring you and guiding you and giving you my 20 plus years of experience as an entrepreneur. You are, yeah, there's an investment for that. So I definitely feel like you got to have some skin in the game, right? Even as I help people with grant writing and that kind of stuff that are nonprofits, I say the same thing to them. Like, grants, people who give foundations, who give grants, they want to know what money do you already have? What contributions have already been made? Have you made any contributions to your organizations? So you got to have some skin in the game. It is going to cost you something, but we try to give you tools and resources where the cost is minimal. And let me see any other questions that we typically get from people. One of the other ones that I think a lot of times people will ask about has to usually do with social media and like, do I have to make videos? Do I have to be on social media? That type of thing. And the answer is no. Like, you can monetize your knowledge and expertise and not ever make one single video on social media because it all depends on who your ideal client is. So if you have your ideal client as a company, and you're going to go directly and pitch your particular product or service directly to that company, then you don't have to make any videos to be able to do that. So with my training in the beginning, I was pitching directly to schools. So I was showing up myself directly in schools, and I didn't start making videos and stuff until years into it. I was mainly just for like fun purposes at that point. I wasn't on social media to attract my ideal clients because I knew my ideal clients were schools, so, and other nonprofit organizations. So it really does depend on who your ideal client is. You most of the time now you need a social media presence of some sort because even those nonprofits and schools and all those people are on social media, but you can have up a page where it's a faceless page where again you're showing your product, you're showing other content about what it is that you do and not necessarily videos that you do. So that, if that's something that you feel like is holding you up, it doesn't have to hold you up.
Yep, I have a friend whose mom, she's in her 70s, and she recently moved in. She downsized and moved into a senior living community, and so she wanted to see how she could make some extra income for herself without actually going out and like rejoining the workforce. She wanted to work at
Hmm.
retired, and so she draws, and so she went to the activities coordinator and asked if she could teach a class and teach her fellow residents how to draw. And her class has been full every weekend since she started it, and I think she charges like $20. They get to come in, and you know how you do the sip and paints. That's kind of what she does, where um, she'll have a canvas and they'll get to, draw a specific picture. So they actually look forward to that on the weekends because that's something that they can do, and they don't have to leave the comfort of their home to do it. They do it right downstairs in the activity area. So they know all they got to do is come downstairs, go to the activity area, and they have a pre-planned activity every Saturday. But she's bringing in income by teaching the class.
That's a perfect example of monetizing your knowledge and expertise. It's something that maybe she didn't do as a professional, but as a hobby, which is hobbies are definitely monetizable. So she monetized a hobby that she has that she's become really good at. And she not only did it, but she did it right there in the community with which she lives. So she doesn't have to go anywhere to be able to do it. Now, if I were talking to her, I'd be like, hey, one more step that you could take that is that you record some videos of you teaching your classes and whatnot. And now you can move beyond just that community to then having it be something that's given to different retirement communities all across the world. Or you can start your own YouTube channel where, again, you post your videos there. Other retirees come and they learn to draw, paint, and do other things. So, absolutely.
Yep.
And so often we like learning from other people who look like us. So I'm sure they enjoy learning from her.
And a second stream of income that she ended up adding is that she learned from her daughter how to use ChatGPT in
Mhm.
order to create her canvases. So now she's actually selling those canvases, that the frame that they're painting, the image that they're painting. She's actually selling that for other people that do paint and sips or um, art classes. So that was a extra income that she didn't know that she had because she was creating them for herself anyway. But she could definitely sell those and make money off of those, even for people that she doesn't teach, because it could be somebody that just likes to paint in the comfort of their home, or what if they want to do an activity with their kids.
Exactly. Like there's so many different people that she could sell those canvases to. And the fact that she learned how to use Chat GPT to make canvases. Other artists would probably want to know, hey, how you use Chat GPT to
Yep.
make canvases. So again, we've already just sat here in this short amount of time and created probably four streams of income for her off of just that one thing. And that's just how easy it is to monetize the knowledge and skill that we have. Sometimes we don't give ourselves enough credit for what we actually do know, the things that we actually know, the things that we're actually able to teach other people or show other people how to do, that they will pay us to learn how to do. And so you're an expert in a lot of things. You might not give yourself enough credit to say that you're an expert, but you really are an expert in a number of things that other people will pay you for. You just have to sit down and think about what are the knowledge, skills, and expertise that I have. I encourage you to get out a piece of paper and just start making a list. Start with work, and it's like, what work skills have I gained over all these years? What are all the things I did in that job that then I could either turn around and do for someone else, or I could turn around and teach someone else to do? Make that list, then make a list for hobbies. all the things that you like to do in a hobby. What things are you really good at? Are you good at writing, drawing, crocheting, gardening, all of those kinds of things? Make that list. Can I teach someone else how to do this hobby that I know how to do? Or can I just do this hobby, create some product from it, and then sell it to other people? And the last area I'll take is your personal life. What kinds of things are your family, friends, and loved ones always asking you for advice on? The
Yes.
stuff that they ask you for advice on that you give away for free, that they would probably have to go somewhere else and pay for. Those are things that you could be monetizing someplace else. So if you are the go-to person, in your family where everybody's always asking you for life advice, life coaching might be a thing that you could monetize from that. If you're the go-to relationship person and everybody is coming to you and asking you for relationship advice, again, coaching couples and people in relationships might be something that you could monetize, or it could just be put your knowledge in a book. So you might not even want to coach people one-on-one, but you're like, listen, I've been in a relationship, I've enough stuff has happened, I got some jewels and some gems that I could drop in a book about relationships and then put it out there. Same thing with parenting. You got some jewels and gems you could drop, put in a book, and put it out there so you can help other people who are trying to parent their kids. Adoption. If you have adopted kids and you know what that's like and you know the path that people are taking with that, and you want to drop some knowledge and jewels and gems for other people to help them when they're trying to adopt or in the process of adopting or have adoptive kids, then put that out there in a book because it will help people. Foster parenting is another, not an easy thing to do, but there are people who have fostered many, many kids that have knowledge all trapped inside of you that you could be sharing with other people to help their journey be much, much easier. So, dog parents, every dog is not created equal. And there's sometimes when you get a dog and you're like, dude, what is wrong with this little dog? Like, I don't know, you might be great at dog training and you have a specific way. I remember when I first came across Caesar Milan and I was like, he really is the dog whisperer. He gets these dogs to do stuff that nobody else, and watching him and seeing what techniques is he using. Because there really is no one right way to do almost anything in the world. And so we all are uniquely gifted and different in ways that we think about things and come up with ways to do things that you can share with other people. And so that's really all it is sharing the knowledge and skill and expertise that you have as an individual that you can help someone else down their path in life and help them be better at whatever it is that they're doing. So think about it. Think about for all of us that are older, we have to rethink retirement. We've got to rethink Social Security because 9 times out of 10, it's not going to be there for you. Rethinking 401ks and things like that. You didn't sock enough money away. So we're all, kind of worried and scared about are we going to have enough money to do what, to live to an older age now while you still have the abilities to continue to bring in income, then thinking about ways that you can monetize your knowledge, skill, and expertise is a good way. It's an easy way for you to be able to create those additional streams of income so that you can then build the nest egg, build the retirement money, build enough money to be able to live the type of life and to have the time and money freedom that you want to have later in life. So it's never too late. Lots of great entrepreneurs got their start after 50. Martha Stewart is one of my favorite examples of entrepreneurs that got her start well after 50. And look at, how big her empire is at this point. So it's never too late. So I don't care what age you are, age is just a number. There are lots of people who 60, 70, 80 learn how to paint, learn how to do all kinds of stuff and make careers out of it, make businesses out of it. So become a wisepreneur. You're already wise. Come on
Right.
over to the entrepreneur side. Become a wisepreneur and monetize that knowledge. Those all those degrees that we spent all that money on. Monetize that as well and get some of that money back that we spent for those degrees.
Absolutely.
All righty. Well, I'm excited that we just, wrapped up our first live on YouTube. I can't wait to go back and watch the replay of it. um, And yeah, we'll be back live. We're building up our YouTube channel, so please subscribe, follow us, hit the comments, give us some comments, and let us know what you thought about this live. If there are any questions that you have about being a wisepreneur or just monetizing the knowledge and skill that you have, different techniques. We have some. A free download on our top 5 favorite ways to monetize your knowledge and skill. And so we're going to have that link down in the description so that you can go and grab that freebie so you can get started making that list of knowledge and skills that you have that you can monetize.
Yep, and the challenge will be March 20th through the 22nd. So that's a Thursday, Friday, and a Saturday. And so the link will be in the description box to sign up for that as well.
Yep. So come and join us for the Monetize Your Expertise Challenge. All right. And if that's it, we'll see you guys on the next live.
Have a good one, everybody.